rocking it all day long.
Model T Ford 1922, which I built up out of bits and pieces over a period of time, and then I had a bunch of stuff left over, so I built a dirt track replica. It's bits and pieces of 1920s. It's remains of half a dozen cars. It's not drivable on the highway, but now I've taken it out to Kahuku and I'll take it to Kualoa and run it up to the mountains. The MGTC I also bought as a piece of junk and restored. It's supercharged, it'll go quite well. And the MGTD I also built from the remains of 5 MGs. The Austin Healey I bought new in 1953, and then same year I drove it cross country to New York. I had taken a job there with a foreign car dealer, but before starting that job I went to Europe. My mother said, oh, you should go to Europe before you tied down. So on that trip I met a red-headed girl who became my wife, and we drove back cross country in the Austin Healey. And I've had it, she's gone now, but I've had the car still, and it still goes strong. I raced it successfully for a number of years, and it would clock on the track at 130 miles an hour. I've driven it that fast. It's souped up, but it's done very well, and I have trophies to show for it. It now belongs to my son, Andrew, who also races in the time trials at the stadium, along with his Sprite midget, which is next to it.
My name is Rick Lloyd. This is my pride and joy, my 1949 Studebaker Commander convertible. I was a Studebaker freak when I was a kid. I used to live in the Studebaker dealer showroom, and I was about 14 years old, and I was showing people when they came in all the features of this beautiful Studebaker. And one day the owner said to me, you know, you're practically selling these cars. If I teach you how to close, you'll be a salesman. You want to learn how to close? And I said, yeah. So he did, and at 14 I became the world's youngest Studebaker salesman. This was in a little town called Leonardtown, Maryland. I bought it in 2006 from a classic car dealer in Marietta, Georgia, and had it shipped out here. What motivated me to buy this car was that if it were 1949 and money was no object, and I could order a car from the factory to be built to my exact specifications, this is what they would have sent me. So when I first saw that it was for sale, I just went bonkers. The only change I made to it was that I painted the rims red. If you look at the tires, the little red stripe around the edge, I think really sets it off.
Probably best just pull up there and that's it. We're going to be pretty full. I was hoping to get them all together, but we just couldn't make it stay full more. My name is Fred Weisberger, and I'm the president of Loja Region AACA. Okay, today I drove my 1930 Ford Model A Phaeton. A Phaeton means that it's a 4-door convertible. And until the early 1930s, these were very popular, and by the late 1930s, most car companies stopped making them. This is a 1930 Ford Model A truck, very similar to my 1930 Ford Model A Phaeton. This is the light truck version, or known as the single A. It's about a 3-liter, 40-horsepower motor, 3-speed manual transmission. Model T was made from 1908 to 1927. In 1928, Henry Ford came out with the Model A. They started the alphabet over with the letter A, and it was in the same price range, the least expensive car you could buy in America. And this is a 1929 Model A rumble seat coupe. Coupe because it has a hard top, and rumble seat because you could put your mother-in-law in the back here, or the kids, and keep them away from you. Now this one is a 1931 Model A town sedan. 31 was the last year for Model A, built from 1928 to 1931. In 1930, they added stainless steel radiator shell, and in 31, they added this dark inset on the top and bottom. And this one is a 4-door sedan.
Hi, I'm Doug Cyphers. This is my 1964 Plymouth Valiant Signet convertible. I bought it new in 1964. Kept it in the garage for about 25 years because I was working overseas. And then I brought it to Hawaii and decided to restore it, repaint it. Everything is original, as it came out of the factory. It's an automatic transmission push button, which is kind of rare, and a V8 engine, which was, in those days, most of the cars, the Valiants came out with called a slant 6, but a few came out with a V8 engine. That's original, everything, haven't touched it, except painting it.
And it'll be, you want to find out from your owner's manual, you want to find out what that
number is supposed to be, or
what the original number is on the owner's manual.
okay.
And then you want to make sure that this is the right number.
Okay.
Because it's entirely possible somebody has swapped this out.
Swapped it out over time.
Over time. So if you got the original, boy, it's gold for this car.
Is that right? Oh, I'll pay attention to that.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Bill Lofquist. This is my Mercedes 1984 380 SL. I've owned it for about 10 years now. I bought the car in Birmingham, Alabama. I was living up in Reston, Virginia, saw it on the internet, went down, paid a minimal price for this car because it was in bad shape. The car barely made it from the owner's place over to the Mercedes dealer in Birmingham, where I spent a lot of money just to get the engine in shape. Drove it up to Northern Virginia, couldn't pass environmental laws, so I had to spend more money on the engine and everything. Finally got it where I want it to be. The key selling point to me of this car is the red color. This is called Orient Red. Inside is a tan called Palomino. I lived in Northern Virginia near the training grounds of the Washington Redskins football team. And the Washington Redskins football team colors were maroon and gold. Take a close look at this car. This car is, if you will, maroon and gold. I figured when I get ready to sell this car, I'll get it back to Northern Virginia. There's got to be a rookie who just joined the Redskins who would love to pay top dollar for this genuine, official Washington Redskins car.